So we're going to read some. We're going to read some of the stories from Tales of Beetle the Bard today. Yeah. I don't know if I mentioned this in my first video, but I did buy this secondhand because we do not support. We don't. Her comments are mean and very untruthful about the real lived experiences of actual people on this planet and in our society. And I would just like to send out my solidarity to those who identify in a different way to what people expect them to. I'm proud of you for living your truth. So, I bought this secondhand because I don't give money to this author. The books I'm reading are my older brother's old copies, so I actually haven't spent any money on them. So, in Tales of Beetle the Bard, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stories, 5 stories, 5 stories, 5 stories, 5 stories, 5 stories to choose from. his enemy dead upon the floor, the oldest brother proceeded to an inn where he boasted loudly of the powerful wand he had snatched from death himself, and of how it made him invincible. That very night, another wizard crept upon the oldest brother as he lay wine-sodden upon his bed. The thief took the wand, and for good measure slit the oldest brother's throat. And so death took the first brother for his own. Meanwhile, the second brother journeyed to his own home, where he lived alone. Here he took out the stone that had the power to recall the dead, and turned it thrice in his hand. To his amazement and his delight, the figure of the girl he had once hoped to marry before her untimely death appeared at once before him. Yet she was silent and cold, separated from him as though by a veil. Though she had returned to the mortal world, she did not truly belong there, and suffered. Finally, the second brother, driven mad with hopeless longing, killed himself so as to truly join her. And so death took the second brother for his own. But though death searched for the third brother for many years, he was never able to find him. It was only when he attained a great age that the youngest brother finally took off the cloak of invisibility and gave it to his son. And then he greeted death as an old friend and went with him gladly, and equals, they departed this life. So we do have some notes by Albus Dumbledore on the tale of the three brothers. He says that the moral of the tale of the three brothers could not be made any clearer. Human efforts to evade or overcome death are always doomed to disappointment. So the third brother in the story, the humblest and also the wisest, is the only one who understands that. Having narrowly escaped death once, the best he can hope for is to postpone their next meeting for as long as possible. The youngest brother knows that taunting death by engaging in violence, like the first brother, or by meddling in the shadowy art of necromancy. Necromancy is the dark art of raising the dead. And it's a branch of magic that's never worked. Or by meddling in the shadowy art of necromancy, like the second brother, means pitting oneself against a wily enemy who cannot lose. I mean, you can't kill death, so. The irony is that a curious legend has grown up around this story which precisely contradicts the message of the original. This legend holds that the gifts death gives the brothers, an unbeatable wand, a stone that can bring back the dead, and an invisibility cloak that endures forever, are genuine objects that exist in the real world. The legend goes further. If any person becomes the rightful owner of all three, then he or she will become master of death, which has usually been understood to mean that they will be invulnerable and even immortal. So Dumbledore says that the true invisibility cloaks, though rare, do exist. However, the story makes clear that Death's cloak is of a uniquely durable material. So invisibility cloaks that we do have are generally not infallible. They may rip or grow opaque with age, or the charms placed upon them may wear off. Dumbledore also says that the stone has never been found either. We do remain incapable of raising the dead, and there is every reason to suppose that this will never happen. So dark wizards having created Inferni, which are kind of ghastly puppets, and they are more like zombies. They're not truly alive humans. And Beetle's story is quite explicit about the fact that the second brother's lost love has not really returned from the dead. She's been sent by death to lure the brother into death's clutches, and is therefore cold, remote, tantalizingly both present and absent. And this leaves us with the wand. The obstinate is some historical evidence to back up their wild claims. For it is the case whether because they like to glorify themselves or to intimidate possible attackers, or because they truly believe they were saying that. Wizards down the ages have claimed to possess a wand more powerful than the ordinary, even an unbeatable wand. Some of these wizards have gone so far as to claim that their wand is made of elder, like the one supposedly made by death. Such wands have been given many names, among them the Wand of Destiny and the Death Stick. The Death Stick. Very simple wording. But Dumbledore says that it's not very surprising that superstitions have grown up around the wands because they are one of our most important magical tools. So certain wands and therefore their owners are deemed to be incompatible. He says, when his wand's oak and hers is holly, then to marry would be folly, which means, if you're two different kinds of people, that one is oak and one is holly, it's a mistake to marry one another because it won't work out. So it's very interesting. But it's a very interesting thing to think. And he also says certain wands can denote flaws in the owner's character. So he says rowan gossips, chestnut drones, ash is stubborn, and hazel moans. It's about like the traits that the wand owners actually have. It's quite interesting actually. I wonder what certain characters wands are and whether that dictates their personality. It's quite an interesting claim. And within the category of unproven sayings, we find Wand of Elder never prosper, whether because of the fact that death makes the fictional wand out of Elder in Beetle's story, or because power-hungry or violent wizards have persistently claimed that their own wands are made of Elder. It is not a wood that is much favoured among wand makers. Wand makers don't like Elder wood, I guess because of this story. Too many people know about the legend, so they just avoid Elderwood altogether. So, the first mention of the Elder Wand was owned by Emeric, commonly called the Evil. Emeric the Evil. He was a short-lived but exceptionally aggressive wizard who terrorized the south of England in the early Middle Ages. He died as he had lived in a ferocious duel with a wizard known as Egbert. What became of Egbert is unknown, but the life expectancy of middle-aged duelers, magical duelers, was generally short. So, in the days before the Ministry of Magic, the use of dark arts wasn't regulated, and dueling was usually fatal. So, most witches and wizards prefer a wand that is chosen them to any kind of second-hand wand, because the second-hand wands are likely to have learned behaviours from its previous owner that might not be compatible with the new user's style of magic. So the general practice of burying the wand or burning with its owner once he or she has died also tends to prevent any individual wand learning from too many masters. Believers in the Elder Wand, however, hold that because of the way in which it is always passed allegiance between owners, the next master overcoming the first, usually by killing him. The Elder Wand has never been destroyed or buried, but it has survived to accumulate wisdom